Hello everybody, welcome back to Landedkiller show. I know this isn't a review of the French cruiser, but I'm in the nostalgic mood today for old World of Warships pretty much. So today we're going to be reviewing the Phoenix. This is one of the first ships I ever played in the game. It's a tier 4 in the American cruiser line pretty much. Never was actually built, but it was a prototype for the Omaha class cruisers. So let's get started with our armor layout here, shall we? 13mm plating here, 10 here, 38 here, 25 here, 25 here. Our deck plating goes from 13 to 16 in the middle. Funnels are 10. Side is 16, armor belt is 76. Plating is 16. We got some casing here that are 25mm. 16 here, 10 here, 13 here, 13 here. Aft end plating is 25mm. See here for captain skills, I have incoming fire alert, demolition expert, and survivability expert, which increases the health up a little bit, up to 25,800. Now let's take a look and see where our citadel is hiding, shall we? See, it's the 76mm here, it's 37 citadel deck, 16 plating on the side. So pretty much any battleship will go through a cruiser. That's beside the point. The artillery is these 152mm guns, these guys here. They're in the case mounts as well. You can see that unlike higher tiers of the higher tiers of this line, that the lower tiers get some torpedoes. You can see that they're mounted in the hull here. You basically have a reload time of 66 seconds on those, and then 7 seconds on the main battery. Main battery gets 2200 damage for the high explosive and 31,000 for the AP. Torpedo tubes right here, 5.5 kilometers, maximum damage 11,733. Torpedo speed is the slow 56 knots. AA is pretty bad. These little 12.7 Brownings on single mounts here. You got these 28 MK1s right here, kind of like an early predecessor of what the Bofors would be. Then you have your dual purpose 400, these little Cannon 76mm mounts here. Honestly, AA is not going to be good at this tier. It's bad for almost all tier 4s. Maximum speed is 36.8 knots. C5 Sierra mic equipped. Yep, that's with Sierra mic equipped. Turning circle radius is 630 meters. Rudder shift time 5.4 seconds. Concealment 6.6 to 15.3 depending on if you're in smoke or you're firing your main battery weapons. Detectability by sea is 0 to 5.4. Kilometers. Detectability by air is 5.4 to 8.4 kilometers. Assured detectability range is 2.0 to 6.6 after firing main battery shell. See that we got 3 different hulls for the ship. Basic hull looks like this. Keep in mind, I'm not always going to show all the hulls for tech tree ships, because they can get quite expensive. See that we only get six guns here. Go on to B hull. Some more guns, right? We get up to 8 now. See that we got some mounted in the side now, pretty much. In the olden days of ships, you would have an A, B, and C hull for your tier 4s. But Wargaming slowly removed those over time. They didn't like the. They wanted to turn those hulls into future premium ships pretty much. See that as we progress, we get more and more guns till we're up to 10x1. Got the classic look right there. Slowly over time, we get a little bit more of a 30s to 40s look, pretty much. All right. So where can you find Phoenix? Phoenix is in the tech tree right after St. Louis here. Pretty much just about under $1 million for the coal, under $1 million for the ship. That's its horn sound. For equipment, I have magazine modification 1, and damage control system modification 1, because I want to reduce detonations or reduce fire chance, because there's a lot of HE that gets flung around at this tier. Alright, let's get into battle with old Phoenix. Honestly, I just miss the old days of ships sometimes, and I know that a lot of folks wonder why I miss the old days of ships, and I'm not a big fan of submarines and super ships. The answer is simple. I liked it when the game was simpler and didn't have all these different special consumables like main battery reload booster or torpedo reload booster. Things like that. I miss just having a game where the ships were balanced around different ships and where it was rock, paper, scissors. Those are the sort of things I miss about old World Warships. I don't blame the wargaming devs for all the decisions made, as clearly they needed to appeal to a newer player base. But I am thinking the game's going to continue to get faster, faster, and faster because the newer generation wants fast-paced games. Meanwhile, us in the old games crowd, you know, we like the game slower like this, where we can just sit here and just take the ships out into battle and just relax. So what I would say, you know, is just when you're playing the lower tiers, just take your time when you're playing them. Don't try to rush through them to get to the higher tiers. Try to enjoy the ships to the lower tiers. So many times a new line comes out for a new tech tree line and the content creators just skip over the lower tiers like they don't even matter. Sometimes it just gets me annoyed because people took time to model those ships. And they start the lines at the lower tiers if they can. But apparently it costs about the same to model a lower tier versus a higher tier. So you should take that into perspective when you're thinking about the different tiers, that they cost the same, whether it be a tier 1 or a tier 10 to put into the game. I liked Phoenix for many reasons. One, it makes me think of the days when I first started playing the game back in closed beta, when it was only the Japanese and American tech trees partially available. I don't believe CVs were even ready at launch. I think it was just American battleships, American cruisers, and Japanese cruisers, and Japanese battleships at the launch. Carriers came to play a couple months down the road. Fortunately, I could never capture the early days of the game because my computer wasn't really powerful enough to do so at the time, and I really lacked the software to really upload and make videos back then. But a lot of the early game was focused around, there was some torpedo soup from the carriers and all that, but it mainly was focused on the ships that could actually do some damage, like Kamikaze and Fusion. There was an Arpeggio Blue Steel collab, I believe, several months after the game first came out. Give me a break. I'm trying to do a video, so trying to get me. Oh, it's funny how I get torped by ships as soon as I mention Kamikaze or Fusion. Time to fire back with some of my own. Oh, boy. But yes, there was a lot of heavy torpedo soup back in those early days. Not gonna lie. Now it seems Wargaming wants to embrace that meta again with their recent addition of submarines in the game. The issue I have with submarines is pretty simple. They can just fire the torps at faster speeds than any other ship in the game, and they can home their torpedoes. I don't believe that torpedoes had a homing capability in 1940. I believe that that was something that was developed later on in the war. So yeah, just gotta say that I'm not a big fan of them. I understand why they're in the game, because they want to represent more historical time periods. I can understand that. Yes, very much in the early days of the game, it was a heavy torpedo metal like you're seeing here. All these ships firing off torpedoes right at me just like this. A little bit rusty, but not that rusty with Phoenix. It's a fun ship. I still give it a 10 out of 10 any day. Just because it's been in the game for such a long time, and the fact that it can hold its own still. I'm glad I can at least enjoy lower tier battles without submarines in them. Guess I can only have that when there's a brawl and all that. But yeah, I mean, I just have appreciation for the past when the days were simpler, but even I have to adapt to the faster paced game now, with arms race mode being put in at random at the higher tiers. Oh, it is what it is. I think that everything should not be taken for granted, and that you should try to enjoy what you have when you have it, you know? That's how I view it anyway. I don't hate on Wargaming for changing the game like they have all the way, because I tried to do that with super ships. I said, can you not put super ships in the game? I know what you're doing, yada yada yada. And I tried to tackle this stuff early on. When the first Grand Battles live stream I did almost a year ago at this point, I said this is gonna be tier 11. I was right. Was right. Now I'm making another bold prediction. The separation of camos will be both a positive and a negative change. Positive perhaps for the bonuses. Negative because you're not going to be able to make the same as you did with the current system we have now. It's going to be a lot less, slowing progression down a little bit. I honestly don't want to see the game become like World of Tanks, because I barely play that game because the progression is so slow. Who wants to wait years to progress through a tight tree line? I mean, come on. At least with ships, you can get to tier 1 to tier 10 within a month or two if you put in the effort. Just depends on how many hours you're willing to grind and how much time you want to actually put into it. Sure, you can just free XP your way there, but what's the fun in that? Save the free XP when you're at the tier 9 and the tier 10. That's when it's most needed. Honestly, you have to just appreciate what you have, and you can't take anything for granted. So what you may have one day may be gone the next. I'm gonna stay here till they turn the lights off on the servers, but man, do they need to just start slowing down with all the changes and not plan any more ridiculous changes for this year. You're already pushing the game to the limits with the super ships and the arms race mode. Super ships with the arms race bus, not going to be fun. Just calling that now. Yeah, I'll get on the French cruisers in the next couple of videos here, but I figured I would take some time to at least remember the origins of where I actually started in the game with Phoenix here. And I enjoy the ship a lot. I hope that others will take some time to pull Phoenix out again and play her at least once this week. Try to reminisce on when they first started playing the game. Honestly, it's such a fun ship to play. I still find it to be fun anyway. But I suppose everybody's in a rush to get to Des Moines, and they don't want to spend their time on the tier 4 that much. My first thought was to pull out Arkansas Beta and talk about the past of the game, but then I was like, no, I haven't really talked about Phoenix. That's why I'm talking about Phoenix here. And the fact that we haven't reviewed a good tech tree in a while, that's why. The whole tech tree line from American cruisers is still solid these days. Even Des Moines is starting to show some age when it has to deal with Annapolis, which can fire a lot more shells at it. So yeah, I believe that I'm going to get around to the Annapolis review in the future after I finish up with the French cruisers. So be on the lookout for that in the future. But my next project after this should be French cruisers. I'm talking about them a little bit more in detail. So, just enjoy, the rest of this battle while we kind of finish it off here. So many things have changed over the years. Icons, reticle, planes, everything was changed over the years. Not a bad game. 94,000 damage. So until next time, take care and enjoy the game and appreciate where we've come from. You can see that my flags here are the 1-year anniversary of ship's flag, or is that the 2-year anniversary? That might be the 2-year anniversary flag and the closed beta tester flag. Take care. I'll see you all in the next video. Hope that you enjoyed this little reminiscing on the past video. See you in the next one.